Hey everyone, so today what I'm going to be talking about is this amazing product that I just recently bought that's called a Z palette. And what it is it basically comes like this, and open it up and it's magnetic inside, and it's just an empty palette. So why in the world would I buy an empty palette, right? Well, if you're like me, you have makeup palettes everywhere in your room that look like this, and this, with more eyeshadows in here, and things like this or this. You get the idea. So when I had to go traveling and I didn't know what kind of makeup I wanted to wear, I would have a stack of stuff in my bag, and that takes up way too much space. So basically all you need is something sharp like a small pointed scissor or even a knife, but just be really careful. And all you have to do is get your little palette that you want to empty out, and see, like in here I've already removed all the eyeshadows, but basically all you do is you stick your knife really carefully into the edge of each eyeshadow and just pop up the eyeshadow that you want, and sometimes it'll have a little bit of glue stuck on the other side. So all I did was just put like maybe a few drops of rubbing alcohol on the back of the pan, and then just kind of scrape at it with the scissor or a butter knife until all the glue kind of clumps up, and then just rinse it off, or not rinse it off, but wipe it off with the tissue, and the back of the little cup of eyeshadow is going to be clear. So what you end up with is something that looks kind of like this. So here's one of them that I have already removed from one of my palettes, and in the back with a very fine point Sharpie, I just wrote the name of what it was. So like this was Too Faced Party Girl, and all I did was took all of that stuff out and started putting it into my empty Z palette. And what I ended up getting was a palette that looked like this. So basically, this is all the eyeshadow that I had in all of my palettes, and I just took them all out and just popped them into this. So now, all I have to do when I travel is take this, and look how sleek and compact it is. And I can just take all my brushes with me, and I have all my shadows in one palette. Now, I actually have another palette that I just bought. So this is the palette that I've already made, and this is my new empty palette. And what I'm going to do is I'm trying to organize how I keep all my shadows. So I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to put basically everything that has shimmer into one palette. So my shimmer blushes, bronzers, eyeshadows, I'm going to put them into one palette and take out all the shadows and things that are matte. So right now I have them kind of like on this side right here. These are all my matte colors, and I'm going to start taking these out, and I'm going to put them into my new palette. So I have one palette with matte colors and one palette with shimmery colors, because I feel like matte colors work better for daytime, and it's more appropriate for just everyday looks, whereas shimmery colors are more appropriate for like evening times or parties or things like that. And I feel like after I've tried to use shimmer and matte colors, that I kind of like to have matte colors in my crease to blend out. And I do shimmer maybe just like on my lid. So it'll be easy for me to just kind of find the colors. And I feel like once I started putting them into palettes like this, I see all the colors at one time, and I can kind of choose my colors without having to go through like 2 or 3 different, you know, books like this and trying to find, you know, what I want to wear. Because I end up just using 1 or 2 colors all the time because they're just right there. Whereas now I can see all the colors, and I feel like I use all my products more than I would have if I didn't have them in the Z palette. So you can buy the Z palette online on their website. I think it's zpalette.com. Or what I did was I went to eBay, and I found a seller who sells factory defect Z palettes, so can't really tell, but this one has a little scratch right here. And because of that little scratch, they sell it, instead of being $25 for the Pro Z palette, which is usually what the normal price is, that one came out to like $13, and then there's a $5 shipping. I'll put the description of the seller below because I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now. So I would definitely recommend going to that seller. I've already purchased 2 of them through that seller, and they're perfectly good Z palettes, you know, even though they're factory defects. Like in my first palette, I don't even know where the defect is. I think it's perfect. So whatever defect it is, it's something minor, and it's totally worth it. You save a whole bunch of money, and I would definitely recommend getting 2 at a time, especially if you have a lot of shadows like me, because you can pop out your shadows, your blushes, your concealers if they come in the little pans like that, and you can put them all into the Z palette, and I think it's so handy. And if you know me, you know I'm super organized, so you know that this is probably like the best thing I've bought this year, honestly. So anyways, that is my little video about the Z palette. I hope you guys like this video and hopefully buy the Z palette because I think it's awesome. Anyways, you guys have a good rest of the day. Thanks. Bye.